Hi, and welcome back to the mini farm. So today I'm going to show you how to make a roasted butternut squash soup in the crock pot. This tastes like fall in a bowl, and the whole house smells absolutely amazing because it's cooking in the crock pot all day. If you like the old version that Panera had on their menu, you will love this one. Give this video a thumbs up if you like videos like this, and click the subscribe button below if you haven't done so already. Without further ado, here's how I make my roasted butternut squash soup in the crock pot. For this recipe, you're going to need butternut squash, apple cider vinegar, some maple syrup, avocado oil, salt, pepper, sage, butter. If you're doing the vegan version, you can use coconut oil, chicken stock or veggie stock, onions, carrots, and garlic. To get started, I'm going to prep my butternut squash. And to do that, I'm just going to start by peeling it. Rinse your squash as soon as you're done peeling it to get everything off. So I'm going to cut off the ends, which I totally cut way too much off here. And you basically just want to dice it up into about inch-sized pieces. These two can go in the garbage bowl. Go ahead and toss them into your crock pot as you dice them up. So I stuck my knife right in the middle there and then brought it all the way down like that, and then turn it and do the same thing the other way. And then just split it open. You can use a large soup spoon or a serving spoon. Just kind of go in there and get all those seeds out. You don't need the seeds for this recipe, so if you're not going to roast them, you can just throw them right out. And then you're just going to dice the rest of it up into 1-inch pieces. Make sure your hands are dry so you don't slip. My cutting board keeps slipping on me, so a trick that I have if you guys are having that same problem is put a towel underneath it, and that way it won't slip anymore. Now we're going to dice up our onion. I'm going to scrub these really good. These are organic carrots. I don't peel my organic carrots. There's a lot of flavor and yummy nutrition in the peels, so I just scrub them really good and I cut them up as is. If you saw my garlic peeling hack, you know that you can just stick a whole clove of garlic in there or a whole head of garlic in there and just shake it. Just put the heads in there. Get rid of these. And keep going. All right. Just make sure there's no little bits of peels on there, and you can throw the whole clove in there. We are going to strain this after. If you don't want to strain it, then just cut off the ends of them. Stewed veggies taste completely different than a roasted veggies. When you roast veggies, it brings out their natural sweetness and flavor. And so that's why I prefer to roast them first in the oven if I were to do it the traditional way. So what I'm going to try to do here and see if it works is I'm going to roast them dry with some salt, pepper, and some avocado oil. Just drizzle it over the top and let them cook on high for 4 hours to let them roast. Okay. While that is going, I'm going to go ahead and make my brown butter. The longer it sits with the sage in it, the yummier it gets. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that started, and then I'll just leave it to kind of sit and rest for a little bit. So you're gonna need about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter, or coconut oil if you're doing non-dairy. So it's gonna melt all the way through. You do need a tiny spoon. Just any wooden spoon will do. And you wanna have a handful of sage leaves ready to toss in there. I had it on high. I'm gonna turn it down to medium so it doesn't burn too quickly. It smells so good. Okay, just let it melt all the way through. You wanna be very careful because it goes from brown to burnt really, really fast. So we're at the foamy stage now, if you can see that. And at this point, I'm gonna give it maybe like 30 seconds. There it goes. It's nice and bubbly. I'm going to turn that off while it's still on the heat, and I'm gonna throw in the sage leaves. Okay. There's no heat underneath it now. It's just the residual heat that's left on my cooktop. I let that go for about another minute. You can see the colors turning. It is now a golden brown. You want it to be just slightly darker than this. These are all the milk solids up here. You can see the color a lot better now. So it goes from a nice nutty brown to burnt really, really fast. You just want to be very careful and make sure that you don't go to the next stage before it's ready. Okay, that's our sage-infused butter. Just leave that in there. Let it sit back for 3 hours or so while we're still cooking the rest of our squash and our stuff inside the crock pot. This has been going for only 30 minutes now, so it's already starting to sweat and smell delicious in here. So I'm gonna move this to the back of the stove. And now we just sit back and relax for a few hours. It has been 3 hours and everything is cooked perfectly. Everything is super, super tender. It's been roasting in there. So I'm going to add the chicken stock. And let that go for the next about hour or so. You're also going to add in the sage butter. You don't have to add this at the 3rd hour. You can add it in just before you blend it too. But it does give it a little something special. They kind of marinate a little bit more, the flavors do, if you add it in and then let them kind of simmer together for another hour. Your 2 tablespoons of maple syrup go in now. You can use any kind that you want, just make sure it's real maple syrup, not cornstarch. It definitely makes a huge difference with the flavor. You can also use honey here if you want, but I prefer maple syrup. Stir it in. Cover it and let the flavors marinate for another hour or so. It's been in there for a total of 4 hours, and it's smelling amazing. It's really kind of melted into the liquid. I'm going to set a immersion blender in here and puree that up. All you need to strain it is a fine mush strainer and a ladle. Just kind of put it in, push it through, and keep ladling in. You have pressed everything through, and all you have left is just the fibrous bits. So at this point, we're just going to check it for thickness. You want it to be a smooth, creamy soup, but you don't want it to be really thick like pie filling. This looks perfect to me. I don't think it needs to add anything. Mine does need a little bit of salt. 1 small splash of apple cider vinegar. Stir that in. Top it off with a little sour cream. Kind of mix it in there a little bit. And then I really like some sprouted pumpkin seeds on it. This gives a really yummy crunch to the top.
Let me know in the comments below if this is a recipe you'd like to try, and if you did try it, let me know how you liked it. I'll leave a few other videos up here that you might like, and if you haven't done so already, you can click on my face to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!